AP barrier. So every year, the students get to vote for who they would like to have come up and speak for the phase. And this year, they selected Ann Phillips Barrier, AP Barrier. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about AP. Her resume is wonderful and long, but there's a couple of things. She's volunteered for Arnie Hanna Aquatic Center, helping folks with disabilities learn to swim and be more comfortable in the water. She's volunteered at the Y, helping people climb. Volunteers with the Washington Trail Association, fixing the trails and getting the trails going around the Bellingham area that we walk on every week, and so we're thankful for that. She's run trips up in the Boundary Waters canoe area. Last year, she spent her summer interning in Florida with the North Carolina Outward Bound Intercept and Fins program, working with families and young people, helping them turn their lives around. AP is an inspiration to us all, to the phase, and that's why she was selected to come up and say a few words about the phase AP barrier.
I think I want to start by saying a sincere thank you to each of you for this opportunity to give words to what we are. And with that, I look at all of your faces right now, all dolled up and fancy, and I have nothing but intense gratitude for each of you, for every experience that we've had one-on-one and as a group. And I can't thank you enough for this gift to be able to speak to y'all in this moment. So take just a second and think back before the phase. When you first felt that pull, or spark, that grabbed at your attention and redirected your path to where you are now. I like to think that this very spark is what has led each of us to this program. Maybe your spark flickered on that first day in Rec 201. We showed up, curious and wide-eyed, wondering what a lecture class and recreation could possibly entail. And let's all admit it, we were hesitantly / also hoping that it was going to be basketball gyms and rock climbing walls, and it was not. But we were pleasantly surprised by finding a voice, finding knowledge and community. When Charlie Sylvester spoke to each of us on our first days in that class, we became united by the same spark, grounded by a planted seed. We were engulfed by fierce determination, focus, and excitement, driven by a common desire to provide and inspire this same spark for those we hoped to serve. So we hung on to each word spoken and read in that class and every class thereafter, swinging into the next word and the next until we were creating sentences, paragraphs, term papers of our own, providing structure to the pathways of exploration and innovation, moving us forward. That day, as our focus dialed in and our foundation was set, we have since steadily oxygenated our sparks, our values, each other, and our zest for a life lived fully. As we later would come to see, this would be the spark that ignited us into motion. So on the first day of phase 1, when we were all gathered together, Randy told us of the bishop pine tree. The bishop pine, unique in the way it grows in communities, has a pine cone that remains tightly closed for several years until extremely hot weather, or fire, one or the other, comes along and helps it to release its grasp on the seed inside. Once touched by the heat of a fire, this seed can travel to a new location, settle in, dig deep, and begin growing a new community. The roots provide stability and foundation to the new places, allowing for restoration of that area. I cannot help but see all of us within this cycle. And I think, remembering back, Randy brought up the bishop pine, and I'm pretty sure it was Forrest who raised his hand and said, "Is this supposed to be a metaphor?" And I think the answer is yes. So, as we see these trees grow in clusters, we have also had 2 wonderful years to grow in this close community. The professors, Katie, our loved ones, and most importantly, every one of us has provided opportunity and support for this to happen. The Bishop Pines growth is said to be rapid, and as I look back on our time together, our first day in the phase, each of our 4 retreats, our internships, our first presentations to our last, there has been so much growth. During this program, our trees have held pine cones, which hold and protect the seeds. These seeds carry our values and education that make us what we are, that make us unique, as Grace said, actually. We came into this program with just a spark, maybe left over from the last fire before us, and a seed was planted. A tree grew, a pine cone was produced, and that same spark from the very beginning has been set aflame, fueled by each one of us in support of one another. Together, with one big breath, we have fully ignited into roaring flames. We have made a beautiful fire here. A fire that captures every part of your attention and mesmerizes its audience, makes it nearly impossible to take your gaze from it. It is the fire that gives us flight for opportunity, and it is the tree that provides the return to solid ground for growth. Remember always the spark that ignited you, the seed that was planted in you, and the community that fostered this process. You may find that your fire dies down, but with the breath of never-ending support and encouragement from this community behind you, your spark will never fail to ignite. As we go forth ablaze with potential, keep the fire alive and let the wind take your seed where it may. Find the places in need. Find the places that have become devoid of community, unsteady with injustice. Go where the freedom of play has fallen away into the rushing streams of chaos and stress. Find these places, take action, plant your seed, and grow. And congratulations.